Hi. Hi. Ah, okay. It's funny, you can prepare for these things, but the moment you go live is very interesting. So, greetings. Hello. My name's Maggie Chula. How are you? This is Sacred Sharing, and I come to you on Sundays at 6 p.m. to help you and me start to build a sacred family and a vibrational energy to support all of us. This is a very interesting time that we live in, and it is going to take all of us working together to move and to shift these energies to be the highest and the best for the world. And I want to come to you on Sundays to help you feel this with me. Together we can build this stronger vibrational energy. So I have several reasons for doing this. One, I know together we can build a sacred circle of light that is able to be felt by all who share in it. Whether you share in this live or you share in this later, this is a vibration and a frequency that you will be able to feel. Thank you for everyone who is joining. I love being in this vibration, and it's been a little while since I have done this. In that time, I've been in a state of prayer quite a bit of the last month. You see, my life shifted, just as yours did, by all the changes that have been taking place in the world. And I have wondered, what can I do to share my highest and best? How do I write that that's how I'm helping you if I'm not clear in that path for myself? So I needed a sacred timeout to get to know, who am I now? Do you do that? Do you do that? I do that every year. See, I was blessed to have a birthday that's June 23rd. So my half birthday, and yes, we do celebrate that, is right around Christmas. So I have two times during the year, the summer solstice and the winter solstice, that are very important to me. And I've noticed that when I go with the moon cycles and my own natural cycles, I can affect a huge change for me and those who are in my life. And I want to count you in my life. I would like everybody out there who finds me on Sundays to come and to share in this sacred circle. So I know it takes a little time to build this up, but I want you to know that you'll be able to feel me, that I go into a state of prayer about a half hour before I join you live, and I pull in all these divine beings. It used to be that they would pull me in, but I have taken back my own vibration and my desire to say, I'm here, use me. Use me to be a channel of light and love for others. And as I worked with Jesus and Mother Mary, archangels, Gabriel, I asked him to come in, give me some information that I could use. I asked Raphael to help me so that I can stay whole and healthy. And I have done many, many sacred ceremonies for myself to reestablish my connection to Earth and to the work that I am here to do. Now, I am blessed, very blessed in life, and I've known for my life, that we are surrounded by beautiful divine beings of light. And I have talked to them and actively worked with them. The thing that's different is that I knew them so well. I guess I didn't really question whether other people understood this or not. And I would like to say thank you to um, Leanne and to Christopher for allowing me to use this platform to come into your home and to help you. And thank you, Julie, for helping me reestablish my connection to my ability to channel. You know, when you do something on a regular basis since you were little, it's hard to know that this is something that other people aren't doing. You know, it's like if you live with water and you have a lot of water around you, you think everybody has a lot of water around them. So I've always thought that the people around me knew and understood about angels and about God and how to work with these divine beings of light. And that isn't always true, as I've learned. But I was raised in the spiritualist church. My grandmother did not believe too much in going to church, but when we did go, we went to a spiritualist church. And in that church, I loved it because in that church, you start out and you join together in this sacred circle and you sing songs that are uplifting. And I just enjoyed the ritual of it so much. I learned how to do hands-on healing because that's what we do in that church. We do healings for people, and we learned how to do it hands-on. And we give messages. So giving messages was something that I've always been able to do. Hi, I'm so glad to have you join me. I am. And I want to help everyone here know that I work in a state of channeled vibration, and I've asked that this vibration be able to be felt by more people. So I was guided to get, I don't know if you can see it up there, a Stargate, because I had some clients and some friends who had worked with the Stargate and said that it was very much like working with me, but in a different, it was like a vibration that they could feel what I felt when I work with these beautiful beings of light. So I asked Archangel Raphael and Mother Mary, who are with me a lot for my healing work, what would be in my highest and best when I share this with others? Because I want to come here and be able to share with you how natural it is to channel. And so those are the classes I've been guided to share on the Experts Om Times platform. So I've been working with Om Times for several years on and off, and I've done some radio shows. I did not do the one where I channeled my book. That one I did in a blog talk radio, and that was really for me because I get a little bit nervous, and just like all of you, have my own insecurities. How can I say I'm talking with Jesus? It just seemed like it was a crazy thing to do. But Jesus has assured me that he's here and he talks to a lot of people. So it's okay if I can talk to him too. And Mother Mary, come on, if any of you channel Mother Mary, she is the most blessed, wonderful vibration ever. When I was little, I've shared before that I thought she was the angel of love because this vibration would just come and it would surround me in this blanket. And I'm a visual being. So I saw pink, this beautiful pink, fluffy vibration that would come and just surround me in this love. And I felt good. She would take my fears away and she would help me know that love is all around. Because you know, when you're little and you're looking for guidance, if you're not finding and feeling that from those who are your adults in your life, you need to go and find it from others. And I had kind of a troubled childhood. I didn't fit into my own home, but I didn't understand. It was because I spent most of my life with my grandparents. I mean, I have a brother and two sisters who lived with my parents as long as they could, but I lived with my grandparents. And so I would come and really feel like a stranger in a strange land. And it turns out that's who I was, a stranger. And that's really kept me in a state of kind of isolation. So as I went back to living with my own family, it it was difficult. And I had asked these beautiful beings of light, share with me, how can I stay protected? How can I stay safe and protected? And they taught me so much about the spiritual realm, about energy, about light, how to read people, how to see what their intentions are, that I just assumed this was a very natural thing that we were all learning from these beings. And as I went through my life, there came a point very early when I sent them away. I sent them away. And I deliberately did that. And I think that many of us do. We send them away because life has shifted, because it's not going the way we want. Because honestly, if you're in dialogue with an archangel and your life is not moving smoothly, what the heck is that all about? So I had all these thoughts, all these fears, all this insecurity, and it helped me to work through it. Along the way, I had a lot of illnesses that I worked through. But what I was learning, I didn't even understand until a month ago when I started to process all these vibrations I feel from people. So I'm a channel. Yes, I am. But I channel things in a very interesting way. I open up and it's like channeling 100 different circuits of light all at one time and feeling and sensing these different vibrations. And so as I went out into the world and I was teaching different classes, I kind of got slammed a little bit because I adjust. I adjust to the people I'm with, I adjust to the groups I'm with. And so in very many ways, I've always stated I'm a crystal. And I was really excited to see that people started to know that about themselves and think of themselves as crystals. And so what happened was all of these things started to join together as the world in general really started to have some issues. You know, there's a lot of things going on in the earth, and there always will be. And I found myself being asked by God. So God came into my head as this intense vibrational voice that I couldn't possibly ignore, ever. Couldn't. It was just like having a megaphone all around me saying, what is your focus? How can you focus? And I thought, well, that's fascinating that this big, vibrant force would be asking me that when I'm praying all the time. What is my focus? How should I focus? And I realized sort of the interesting thing was, if I were counseling you, if you had come to me as a spiritual minister, as a counselor, I would have said to you, and I still do, the angels cannot tell us what our focus will be, but they can support us in every way when we share our highest, our best, and our heart's intent, when we share what we want in the world. And somehow I had excluded God from that. I'm not sure why. It's a little kid voice inside me, I suppose. But God was omnipotent. So that omnipotence, that energy that knows all, should tell me, how can I best serve you? Because I'm praying, how do I best serve you? And I just it's like they shook me. Maggie, for goodness sake, have a focus. What are you going to share? And so I said, well, how about if I share how to channel your light and love and wisdom? Yes, absolutely. Well, do I do that as a minister? I can't find the right church because, you know, there isn't a lot of people who do this kind of work in a church setting. And I would like to say hi to all the people who are saying hi. I'm just, you know, I start to channel almost before I even come on here. But they want me to share this with you because this process that I've gone through has helped me learn who I am on a soul level. I know all about my soul. I've gone through past life regressions. I've done future jumping, quantum jumping. I have done any number of healing from psychologists, medical therapists, all kinds of different ways. And what really, really started to help me was when I started working with visions. When I started working with the understanding that there is a flame. Have you ever felt it? It's called the flame of transmutation. I've been involved with this flame for a long time. And I've since learned that other people know it as Saint Germain's violet flame. And it does appear violet at first, and it's quite intense. But it changes and it flickers and it moves. And so this flame and working with it was the first thing I taught people. I was teaching people about energy. I was teaching them how to use their mind, how to use their ability to focus and to see. And so the flame of transmutation, what is that? That is a flame that you can sense and you can feel. This flame lives in the Akasha, and the Akashic vibration is the work that I teach. The Akashic vibration, in a nutshell, the Akasha is source vibration, source or God. You can call it all kinds of different things, but just for the sake of clarity, God and Akasha sort of go together, okay? We're talking about the source vibration of all there is. And in this vibration, when you go and you get into this vibration and into this flow, you start to channel. You channel your love. You channel your light. You channel your highest and your best naturally with yourself in this vibration of bliss. And many of us have found a way to that vibration in several different ways, through meditation, through prayer, active prayer, some through laughing and getting that bubble coming up, almost like little bubbles that come up. So when you get into that vibration of the source, of the oneness of God, when you get into that vibration, there are tools to help you work there. So I have been teaching about this through the Akashic vibration for many, many years. But the first tool that I teach people is the flame of transmutation. And it's really easy because you can think about it this way. If you just close your eyes, or in any way that you do this, that you can imagine, visualize, or feel a flame. You know what a flame looks like. Who hasn't seen a flame? You can pretend you're lighting a match and that's how you get your flame. But when I introduce you through the Akasha to the flame of transmutation, it's huge. And I ask you to go into it. So right now, what they're sharing with me is, if you can envision yourself sitting, standing, wherever you are, you're very comfortable and you're breathing in the breath of life. In order to be here on earth right now, you are breathing in the breath of life. So as you breathe in that breath of life, let yourself just visualize, imagine, or feel this incredible vibration coming right from the source to you, right from the source of God to you. And as that happens, you can move your mind to think of, what is it like to be near a fire, to be near a flame? And you can put your hands out and almost feel this flame, feel the heat from the flame coming to you. Now, it does help that I live in a cold part of the world, but we have flames. So you have this flame and you can feel it. And in this sense, when you first go into that vibration of source, the flame moves so it's below your feet and you feel the flame go all the way up. So it starts to tickle you at the bottoms of your feet, and it starts to warm up the soles of your feet. And as this flame merges with you and merges with your thoughts and your vibration, it moves up even further, and you begin to feel this warmth, and it spreads from your feet. It goes all the way to where it gets to your knees. And then in your knees, you can begin to feel it. And this flame just allows you to sink into it, into this vibration of peace and love. And it just moves up even further, and it just keeps on moving up. And you begin to feel it flickering all around you, flickering the flames. So the flame, as it moves up, it's actually just like the Kundalini in Reiki. It's the flame, and it moves up and it moves up, and it starts to dress all of you, and it helps your vibration move up. So as you move up and you're getting absorbed in this flame and you start to feel it all around you, then you put other things into your mind that you know. You know that things get burned up in this flame. Well, Saint Germain would share with you, give your fears and your worries over to this flame, and the flame will burn them up, and they will be harmlessly absorbed. That vibration gets absorbed back into the source, and back into the source. As it gets absorbed, it gets transformed into love, back into its natural state of love. So what we're asking you to do is to start to know how to take these fears that might be yours, they might belong to others, but you're really sensing it because you're opening up and you're becoming more aware of things. So this fear or the anxiety or whatever it is you may be feeling right now, you can take and give it up into this vibration of a violet flame, which transforms you. Now, if we say violent now, or violet, now violet, we're working with a color and a vibration. It's interesting though, because they do want me to talk to you about words, and violet and violent, those are pretty coupled here, but we're going to uncouple them right now. We're going to uncouple that and start to work once again to feed over fears. Maybe they're my fears, but I'm feeding them over and letting the flame take them so that it turns back into love. So that's one of the ways that I like to work with a tool in the Akashic vibration. Remembering the Akashic vibration is a vibration of source. And I'm going to be bringing these classes to the Experts platform on Om Times. They have a series of them. They are the Ascended Masters and the Archangels who've worked to share these classes through me. Now, they started out to help me because, first of all, I was born crippled and very sickly. I was not expected to live very long, and I was probably quite a pain in the ass. Oops, sorry. It's probably quite a pain for people. So I did have to, I needed a lot of attention. I was a special needs baby. So my grandmother took me over, and my grandparents raised me. That's how I got to feel so isolated and out of sync. I was out of sync with my own birth family, but I didn't know it because I was a child, right? So meanwhile, I've got all these beautiful beings of light who are around me. And by the way, I am saying hello. Hello. If you want to ask questions, please do that. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to address all of them here, but I want you to know what I want to share. And so I'm going to go back to what do I want to share here? I want to share, number one, I'm going to come here on Sundays and I'm going to share with you little tidbits about the Akashic vibration and sacred sharing. So the Akashic vibration is the vibration of God, the vibration of the source that I have worked with for my life. And I've helped myself. They have helped me heal Crohn's disease, ulcers. I had a rash all over my body for an entire year that you could see. Can you imagine? Terrible. Crippled legs and feet. Any number of things. But that's not who I am anymore. I've learned how to heal. And the really cool thing is I help other people heal. But I got to a point in my development and in my studies that I wanted to know how to heal finally. You know what I mean? I didn't want to go through this up and down motion with Crohn's disease. I could get to Crohn's to a manageable point and then something would happen in my life and boom, I might go back into it. But I have been free of any symptoms for, oh my gosh, it's at least 9 years. And it's a lot longer than that since I've had any serious issues with this disease. I never had surgery. I do not take any medicines. I have learned how to be one with my source vibration. That's what I'd like to help you do. Become one with your source. When you start to work with your soul, source soul, I use those interchangeably. When you start to work with your soul and your soul wisdom, you're going to learn how to heal on a quantum level, how to heal that vibrational pattern that you hold in your head, So I want you to know that if you have illness, these courses will help you. I have healed my body. I've healed to such a point that when I turned 50 years old, since I was 50, it took me a couple of years, but I grew an inch. How many people grow after they turn 50? I do. I did. Of course, I want to be 5'2", so I don't know. So I'm going to help to teach you how your mind is creating what is happening. And I do see archangels, and I just absolutely do. And I hear them. So this voice that boomed in my head when I said, what do you want me to do here? This is an incredible platform, and I want to reach as many people as possible. Do you want me to share how they can connect to you also? Because I know that this is what we learn in our religious studies. But as I shared before, I didn't grow up in a standard sort of religion. I guess my parents were Presbyterian, but I studied mainly with my grandmother, who was into spirituality. So spirituality as a religion is something where we go and we help people heal. We do hands-on healing. We give messages from spirit, but it's based on a tenet that says we are more than this being right here. We have more than this one life right here. We have and have had multiple lives. I have been assured by the archangels that we have lived many, 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 many times in order to even choose to incarnate on planet Earth. And then I want to help you start to understand planet Earth as a being, as a living being, as somebody who you can also talk to, and her beautiful animals who would love, love, love to communicate with you. There are fairies. Yes, yes, they are, and they exist. And some of these things are vibrations. Of course, they aren't in the same form that you can see me, this same form, the same physical form. So I, this person you're listening to, I have a human body. Absolutely, you can see it. But I have also a soul and a source within God, within the Akasha, and that has a record, the Akashic record, her book of life. And I also have in my mind an image of what Maggie looks like. Maggie looks like this. Maggie has these issues, and these things that you have that you've built up in your mind about who you are come to you sometimes when you're very little. When you're very little, I learned I was scary, I was sickly, I had to be kept separate from others. I mean, I got these things just because that's what was happening. I'm not saying anybody told me, you have to do this. No, but it's what you pick up. And so as you start to work with children, as you start to kind of looking at them, how are they picking up on information? Then you can heal and start to think some of this about yourself. You're going to start to understand more about yourself. And I am here to share with you how to heal your soul. So that is what is this latest incarnation that's taken me a month to come back and to share with people, because I was already helping people heal. I can already do that through your mind, through energy, through vibration, through quantum physics. But I was asked in a booming voice to share how to heal your soul connection. Now, if you ever hear this voice, I mean, it's big, you you tend to listen. At least I do. And my grandmother used to say, you hit me over the head, because I learned from the school of hard knocks. I mean, I would keep bashing my head into a place. It's like, no, people want to hear this. People want to hear this. No, they don't. I mean, until finally I go, okay, phew, they don't want to hear that. All right. But what I would like to do is to know from you. So I'm going to ask you to do some things for me. I want to make this commitment. God has asked me to make this commitment. So have the angels. They will be here with me. I promise you they will be. And I want you to share with me, what do you want to learn? Because we teach Akashic wisdom and knowledge. We know how to help you get to your soul's vibration. I know how to help you do soul retrievals, how to go into the past for a past life, how to find a fear that might not even have originated with you. I know how to do these things, and I want to share this with you. But I would also like to share with you, there are many teachers, and all of us teach from a different vibrational frequency and from our own wisdom and knowledge. That's how we do it. So there are many teachers, and more teachers are finding this platform called experts, um, experts.ohmtimes.com. So I'm going to go back into this video afterwards, and I'll put the proper links there, I swear. But when we do this, I'm half channeling and half being Maggie. And I want to be clear here. I teach right now how to channel. It's called Channeling Source to Soothe Your Soul. And my next class is scheduled for January 31st. I'm moving my classes to Tuesday. It's what I was asked to do. And I was asked to do that in one of my visions that I had. So I'm not sure if it was better for some people if we moved to Tuesday or what, but that's what I'm going to end up doing. And that's on the expert platform on ohmtimes.com. Now I'm also going to be teaching about the Akashic vibration. So that is the vibration of your source, of your soul. And I will go back here. I promise you I will read everything that you say so that I know what it is you are looking for from me. There are other teachers and there are other people who are going to be able to help you. And so I want you to go to the Ohm Times Experts platform and find, maybe there's another teacher for you, or there's multiple teachers. So just give us a shot and give us a chance, because we're building this and it's growing. It's growing more and more every day. So I do have some advice on understanding ascension. And from the perspective of time, and I'm trying to stay on time. So what I will say to you is, I promise you, Katie, that I will come back here and talk to you next Sunday about ascension. What I would like to do right now is honor the fact that I was going to do this for 30 minutes, and I've gone over my time. But I also want to say January 31st, I am doing Channeling Source to Soothe Your Soul. It's incredible. We do a lot of healing vibrational work there. The people who have been in my classes are making changes on such quantum levels. I am just blessed to know this. And I've done this long enough to know this will work. If you feel guided to do this with me, I would love to do this with you. So I will come back on Sunday, and I thank you so much for listening. Go over to my Facebook page. It's Maggie Chula. It's Maggie Chula, Healer of the Soul. I was asked to shift to that. So it's Maggie Chula, Healer of the Soul. And I'm here to help you heal your soul connection so that you can know divine wisdom, divine health, divine grace is within you. And let's bring our highest and best into the world today, tomorrow, and forever. let's say that we'll do it together because I'm making this commitment. So it's with love. I share this with you, and I will thank you so much for being here. I will see you next week. Bye bye.